Truth Seeker and/or its affiliates are not responsible for any strange phenomena that may occur during or after listening to this podcast, which may include the following: heightened senses of awareness, psychic abilities, UFO sightings, alien contact, time loss, out-of-body experiences, ringing in the ears, ESP, lucid dreaming, increased synchronicities, astral projection, telepathy, stronger intuition, levitation, miraculous healings, and/or remote viewing. Please be advised to listen at your own discretion.
Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come and take me away? To a place to walk on troubled seas, faith to stand when I don't believe. I just wanna be with you. Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come?
You are now locked into the Truth Seeker podcast.
Gargoyles! Psychics! Everything's ungodly! Dark Savage!
Streaming live at truthseeker.com.
She's not a Christian!
Give it up, y'all.
Your portal to the paranormal, esoteric, and all things spiritual.
She's tampering in dark sided stuff!
And now, your host, Truth Seeker.
Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, Truth Seeker. You're tuned into another episode of the Truth Seeker podcast, where I just come on here, go live with some of my friends and get you guys to sit in on the conversation. Some interesting people who have something awesome to bring to the table. Talking to a friend of mine today. We've done a podcast before in the past and it was an awesome episode. If you've not heard that one, definitely go back and reference that one as well, because our first conversation was really good. So before I bring him on, I want to say a huge thank you, especially because it's right at the first of the month. Everybody who is supporting my work on Patreon, you guys are allowing me to do what I'm doing for a living. I'm doing this full time, and I couldn't do it without you guys. The podcast is free to consume, but it's not free to create. So without your help, I wouldn't be able to do it. So honestly, man, thank each and every one of you guys from the bottom of my heart. You guys are allowing me to do this, and there's just so much support rolling in month to month. The money that people are giving, the number just keeps increasing. So I know that I'm doing something right. The messages in the inbox with the people who are being touched by the information that we've are sharing on here, and it's not even. I mean, sometimes it feels like this is just elementary stuff for a lot of people. Like we've covered a lot of these topics before. Some of these lessons we've learned years ago, but people have never heard a lot of the stuff that we're talking about, and it's new to them. And so it touches a lot of people. So in essence, the feelings that we felt finding out about the prophetic realms and the astral realms and dream interpretation, things like this, that was when it was brand new, exploring this stuff. Many people who are listening, it's their first time hearing about this stuff, and they're interested, or they have these encounters. They've had encounters with ETs or ghosts or extra-dimensional beings, and they have nobody to talk to about it. So that's what this show is intended for, just to create a safe haven for us to come together and talk about some of these experiences that we've been having. And the feedback has been phenomenal. People from all walks of life, people, like I say, I always quote, there's this a guy who's over one of the largest Christian radio stations, is a fan of the show. He messages me, tells me to keep up the good work, that he would love to talk about the topics that we're bringing to the table, but he can't because of the demographics and stuff. So we've put our head out there. We do approach it from a Christian standpoint as far as having a relationship with Jesus, right? So therefore that kind of puts a target on our back in like a lot of the New Age community. And then some of the things we talk about, whether it's psychedelics or anything having to do with the spirit realm, it puts a target on our back in the Christian community. So we're in this weird place in between, but there's a lot of you who are there with us. And so we are the ones. We're the ones we've been waiting for. We are the tribe. So with that being said, man, thank you guys who are supporting that Patreon. I want to say a huge thank you to our latest patron who just signed up today, Dave Vokler. I think that's how you say your last name. Dave, thank you so much for signing up, brother. Moki Martin. Shout out to Brandon Higgins, Tawana the Bet, and Carl Sabian, brother. Thank you, man. Everybody who is at that $25 level, we got the T-shirts going out as well. So any level of support, any level of giving, $1, $5, $10, whatever you can do, all of it helps, man. We have a huge following, a huge fan base, huge audience on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everything put together. If everybody gave $1, it would totally cover all of the costs and allow us to do some really cool things. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Patreon.com/TruthSeeker if you want to get involved. So my guest this evening, like I said, we have had a conversation before, went really good, got a lot of feedback from it. Every time we do something together, a lot of people are blessed by it. A lot of people give feedback, letting us know that they want to hear him back on the show again. So here Coy, what's up, my brother?
What up, dog?
3rdEyeOpener on Instagram. Some of you may know him as.
That third eye shizzle. You know why we're so popular, bro? It's because of Jesus, I swear to God. Because there's nobody, you just mentioned it, nobody's bridging that world between the sick world and what people think Jesus was doing some basic bitch Christian church shit, like revolutionary mystic shit.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
So that's why I think I'm popular, because I'm doing that work, bridging the Muslims with the Christians and the Christians Jews and the Jews with the blacks and the blacks with the Arabs. It's like you do that and then you have one unit fighting.
Continuing his work, what he brought to the table, right?
Exactly what he did, bro. And when he entered the temples, he didn't say, "Please stop, I don't like this." He literally flipped over the tables and smacked shit out of people's hands. It was like, don't shoot him. What's wrong with you?
Yep.
You can't.
That's exactly what he did. Shout out to everybody holding us down in the chat room as well. The phone lines are open if anybody would like to call in, ask a question, or share a comment, anything like that. So,
in the name of Jesus,
devil, I rebuke you for what I go through. Yeah.
I love that song, bro.
Right?
Oh, man, what happened, bro? Devil got his ass bad, huh?
Yeah. I think he's doing a little bit better, though, man. I think he's doing a little bit better.
I know what happens when a Jezzy hits. He got knocked.
Yeah, he definitely did, bro.
Damn. Poor guy.
I want to say, so the first time we went live together, you stuck an apparatus up your nose and blew in it.
I do that a lot.
And I wanted to know what it was, and you told me it was Hape, spelled Rape, R-A-P apostrophe E. You can't. You have to put the apostrophe, because if you start spelling it on social media and sending people inboxes, yeah. So
having a ceremony.
Exactly. So you did it for the first time on camera when I seen that, and I was interested. Anything indigenous that our ancestors practiced, and I wanted to know about it. So you gave me some info on it, and I finally got some a couple days ago, and have been trying it out. It is a shamanic snuff, form of tobacco and plants mixed together. You got every blend possible. You got the rainbow blend.
Bro, the rainbow.
Yeah.
So the rainbow one is called Vision Quest, and what they do is they take these seeds. There's different types of rape. Mm-hmm. Some of them are like apurina, which is it's just vegetable. It's like vegetation, like plant matter. So they grind that up, and it's very green. You can see it. It looks like it's alive. But then the darker it gets, the more dark tobacco it has. So the more full and burny and earthy it is. This is the Vision Quest. This is stuff that it's almost like a yellowish orange, and it smells like something that it reminds me of like an Egyptian death vault. I don't know what to like. It must have something in it that ties to Egypt, because I smell it and I'm like, I know that smell. It's like I don't know. It has a lot of DMT in it, basically, is the line. So and some other medicines that can enhance your awareness.
Yeah, it's said to decalcify the pineal gland with and it helps you to be more grounded, like immediately more grounded, not over time. It's immediate. As soon as you do it, a lot of people cry. It brings tears to the eyes. And if you're trying to press into the spirit, and do it. It immediately gets you grounded to be able to feel the presence of God. It's awesome.
Yeah, so as it opens your chakra system, it kind of connects your energy to the core of the earth, and then shoots your pineal gland. It opens it up and opens it to the information of the cosmos.
So when you do it, it's suggested to do about a piece size, half in each nostril. So I got a little bit more than a pea size because sometimes I think it takes just a little more. I think if you're just starting out, a pea size is good. So this is how much I got. If you guys can see that on camera, for those on the podcast and we're holding it up to the camera, you can go back and watch that video. So you probably got a little bit more than me. So we have an applicator. These are the self applicators to do it yourself.
Called Curipes.
Yeah, say it again.
They're called Curipes, and in Peru and Argentina and Colombia and the places that these are found, the tribes people make them either out of bamboo or wood that they burn or hollow out. And then they traditionally it's connected with beeswax and some type of a linen substance that ties it together, like rope or hemp or fiber, palm fronds, anything.
I got the Kurupe. Is that the name of it? How do you say it again?
Curipe.
I got mine from Peru as well as the snuff as well. So we'll go ahead and do it out of respect and connectivity, and for this conversation. And we thank our ancestors for leaving this behind for us and showing us the way. It does have a burning sensation. It's a grounding sensation.
Oh, good.
Yes, it cleans you out. Sinuses, any mucus. And I wanted to kind of go into detail a little bit because we did some the other night on camera, and some of the people watching didn't know what it was.
That's questions.
And then they wanted us to go into. My friend Adam wanted us to kind of talk about the difference between the stuff that we promote that was natural and organic, done by the indigenous people, versus the stuff that is synthetic, maybe LSD or some things like that's kind of made in a lab, blended with chemicals and things like that. So I know the last show we did, we talked about that a lot, but I think that's kind of weaved into every conversation a little bit because it's part of life, right?
Yeah, people are really curious about. So a lot of people want to expand their consciousness.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't really know how to go about doing it. Telling them that conscious breathing is the answer isn't really going to do it for most people these days.
Hey, it's powerful though, bro.
It's more powerful than hallucinogenics, but regardless, you're not going to get that concept through to anybody.
Yeah.
Because they're going to want something to. Everybody wants a crutch these days. Nobody wants to do the work themselves, and I get it.
Yeah.
So, what I say is, if you're going to use a crutch, then use nature's crutch. Never use humans as a crutch, unless you're using what. If you had a vision and you spoke to Christ, or you had a vision and you spoke to another prophet, or Buddha, or Muhammad, or somebody like that, if you had information coming from an outside source, you could turn to that humanoid to get the information. Otherwise, turn directly to nature. Nature doesn't lie. Humans are fucked up, and they have been for 4,000 years, through self and consciousness in Atlantis. And that is why we plants to reconnect to source, because plants are a manifestation of divine intelligence. Information that we need in order to expand.
It's said that every plant has a spirit, and by ingesting the plant, whether you're eating it or consuming it, the rapé, the ayahuasca, the marijuana, the salvia, that you're connecting with that plant and the spirit teacher that's behind that. And even just going outside, putting your feet on the ground is a way to connect. And and just a way to learn. And if you're open to learn, it could be done, right?
Bro, did you know I don't wear shoes?
Ever?
I won't put them on. I don't wear shoes. I don't give a fuck what city I'm in. For an airplane, I'll wear flip-flops just to be respectful, but I don't fuck with shoes. I stay connected.
I need to do that.
I lost your sound, bro.
Talk shoes.
Oh,
Recorded live.
Okay. Yeah. I had to connect the phone lines because we had some people wanting to call in. The phone lines are open. I want to say thank you. Someone just connected and donated $5 on the super chat on here. Thank you so much. It says half and half. So thank you, man, so much. That means a lot. Thank you so much for that. That's the first super chat donation I've got on here. It's pretty cool.
You're rich, bro. We going to Vegas?
Yeah.
Let's go pre corners. They need it.
Whoo, man. So we're talking. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, bro. We're talking about maybe doing some webinar stuff, me and you, like some type of like all day teachings and activations and things like that, man. What do you think we should do, bro?
A lot of people. So there's a lot of what could be explained as lower dimensional entities that are kind of escaping and coming into Earth right now. And something that we could teach people about is how to go into meditations with a positive vibration so they're not able to succumb to that.
Yeah.
That happens a lot, bro. I've seen like full-blown possession. I've never seen them before 2010. And now as we get more and more and more into this awakening, people are getting up worse and worse and worse. Yeah. I'm actually talking about like, and I don't even preach the Bible thumping bullshit about it, but it's a very real concept where people are lowering their vibrational state and they're doing some dumb shit like, dragon's breath or breath of fire or kundalini. They're getting fucked up, dude. Or they're eating psychedelics like acid. It has really fucked up a lot of people.
Having bad encounters from it, using it as a party drug, things like that.
Yeah.
I try to tell people, I think that whatever level you're vibrating at, when you cross over into those other realms through meditation, you're going to deal with those spirits. And when I started, I dealt with the lower level negative demonic forces first. When I went into those realms as a teenager, I dealt with those bastards, man.
You don't know what it is. It's not like they sit out there and they tell you that it's fucking, they don't say, "Oh, I'm Jezebel." They tell you that it's a fucking, they say, "Oh, I'm Toth. I'm Jesus. I'm the spirit." They look shiny, flashy, but as above, so below, as within, so without. You're always going to match in this world and the next what you are vibrationally. How existence works. Whether you're talking about the next realm or the realm before this or this one here.
Exactly. Yeah.
What you get. You never get what you want. You never get what you get what you think.
Yeah.
So people go into these meditations and, bro, they get fucked up. How do we help them? That's one thing that we can market, and it's marketable and helpful.
Yeah.
Just sell bullshit, but a webinar is a great way for us to make money and a good way for people to really get help.
Yep. I've got a couple teachings that I'm working on right now, getting ready for what you just mentioned. Really, the whole Jezebel spirit. I had an inbox question, somebody asking me about the spirit of Jezebel. So I'm getting a teaching ready now about how to overcome that spirit, what it is, and how it's affecting the prophets of God. Right.
Yeah, she's a sneaky bitch, bro. The thing with Jezzy, she can't hurt you, but she will make your mind go to a state where you hurt yourself. She is amazingly manipulative. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen, bro. Okay. I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. This is the best story I've ever told. This girl I met, Savvy, I met her in Maui. I met her off Instagram. I wasn't really Insta famous yet. We decided we were going to fuck, but before we fucked, I told her that she had a Jezebel spirit. I could see it in her eyes, and I was like, what drugs are you doing? Because I knew that Jezebel, she'll make people, kill themselves. She got this girl to do meth. Savvy was doing meth for 5 years. I banged Savvy that night, and while I was having sex with her, I tried to get the Jezebel to come after me. Bro, I shit you not. I have proof of this. It's all over my Instagram page, like Savvy's written about it. But she never touched meth again after we did that. The next day, I got fully possessed. I mean, like, it was the craziest shit I've ever seen. I'd never been in the first hand. But this thing, it was this bitch. She manifests as like a pretty woman, obviously, but she was this old ancient. I was 6 hits of acid, and I got bit by a mountain centipede, and it lowered my vibrational state until I got into this possession. So for 7 hours, I was literally like thrown around this yard. I could never explain what happened. It happened in real life, but I was tripping my brains out, so I have no idea what really happened and what really didn't. But I had cuts and gashes, and like, it was crazy. Anyway, the long story short is that this spirit will get you to do a drug until you kill yourself. It'll get you to blow your brains out. It's completely powerless unless you give it mental power.
Yep. It's intimidating. Its goal is to kill the prophets, but it can't touch you. It's only intimidating, like you said, because we got to know our power, right?
So you kill yourself. She's a fuck, man. She's been after me for eons, bro. Never gonna get it. Never.
We and I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to stay focused, man. That was a really strong dose.
Bro, I'm all over the place. The point is that energy is transferred in sex.
Yeah, and there's so many. You know what? Even dealing with sex, scripturally, sex is marriage, right? When you come into a woman, when you guys share that sacred union, like that person becomes a part of you.
Right, it's a marriage of energies.
And there's science now that's showing that you hold every partner that you've ever been with, even on a scientific level, like the DNA that you've been with, the woman, and that's why you can't never get those people out of your head. Just by like prayer and fasting, and people try to get those memories out of their head, but they never go away. That person is a part of you. Sex is powerful, man. People don't understand. Even on a biblical level, it's not even about the ceremony that you go through in the court system with the families and the exchange of wealth and items and stuff for just like a whole marriage. That like all that's for the family, but the part where you come together with your wife, that's the union before God. That's why Christ said, "He who joins himself to a harlot becomes one flesh." That's deep. Yep. I got friends who go to Backpage.com. They're lonely, and they get prostitutes off of there. And
I did once. It was hard, yo, bro. Let me tell you, bro. She had a C-section scar, 2 bullet wounds in her lower back. It didn't have that on Craigslist. What the fuck?
Yeah, we don't recommend that. That sex is something that's holy. It's pure. Even though the marriage bed is undefiled, it is a very intimate matrimony to do, and even eye gazing, right? Eye gazing.
Well, see, that type of shit. See, I separate sex and tantra personally because I'm kind of not promiscuous, but I'm very, like I have a more wild construct of like a tribe status, like the way a wolf pack would operate.
Yeah,
that's more my thing.
Are you still with your girl?
No, we broke up.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
I fell in love with her though. Like, what am I gonna do? She's so nice and so beautiful. I'm just crazy. I can't. I have to be able to like run away at times, you know?
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there like that, man. You're not alone.
No. You know, we're still really, really close.
That's good.
I took 500 times a day. Yo, I was hitting this wax pen, dude. I got this concentrate that I made with a flat iron. Out of weed, you can flat iron weed in wax paper, and it turns into like resin, like shadow wax type stuff. Making me cough my brains out.
Man, I know this makes for bad audio, but hey, it's part of it, man. And I had some messages, people wanting us to explain it, and so this stuff is available. It helps ground it. I'm having I'm in between realms right now, man. It's a little hard to stay focused, like I said, but we're going to do our best. We're talking about these spirits that are influencing us, and there's like a jealousy thing. The whole Jezebel spirit comes through the spirit of jealousy as well. So they're jealous of the platform. They're jealous that God is using you, that you have spiritual giftings and authority in those realms, and they get jealous. I know there's trolls out there, but there was a guy, and you probably know who he is. I don't even know, but he shared one of my videos because I'm a follower or you know what I'm saying? Me and you are connected, and you posted that you know what I'm saying, you like my music, I'm one of your favorite artists and things like that. So he's like, hey man, let me check this guy out. So this guy shares my videos, and all of his friends are like trolling on the videos and stuff. Who is that guy?
Okay, so this guy, this motherfucker.
We don't even have to say his name. Let's don't say his name.
Oh, I haven't. So that's the thing. I've gained about 700 followers for the 4 days that they kept posting about me. Because real is real, bro. You know,
Yep.
any publicity is good publicity.
Yep.
And to be completely honest, for those of you who don't know me, I made my name doing the craziest shit that people do not do on social media. I did. Like stories about my sex life that you guys don't even know. When I was on meth, crack, coke, heroin, I had so many like crazy ass experiences. I just started writing about them on Instagram, so I got a reputation for being completely honest.
Yeah.
So when I started posting about like my extraterrestrial lineage and all this other shit that I post about government corruption and whatever the you know, our mission statements or whatever it is, people, they know that I'm being real and honest. That's a big thing. This guy, so his girlfriend works as a pharmacy tech. But she has one of the very large consciousness pages, very, very large, 275,000 people, something like that. When I first made my way, I'm always been a lone wolf. I don't fuck with other people because I don't trust anybody. But I met with these guys at some conscious networking events. We all got tight. Like these are my East Coast crew. A couple of them were kind of fishy. One of them I didn't meet. That's the kid that started posting about us. I guess he kind of made his name like shitting on conscious pages. Like that's what he does. But he's in the conscious community. You know, I've tried to set up a meeting with this kid where I could just fucking knock him out a few times.
Yeah.
Like bitch, he won't even give me, like, he won't give me his number, he won't give me his address, like his boys won't give him his address. He's got like bodyguards. Like, fuck you, I got bodyguards too when I come to the States. But like, what are you doing with bodyguards? You got 2,000 followers, chump.
Yeah.
72,000, I'm shit talking Israel. Like, what now? Anyway, for the record, people, I love Israel, the people. I don't like what they're doing to Palestine. That's for the record. So if you follow my page, there's a lot of free Palestine posts. I don't believe in that shit. So this guy, you know, it's almost like this Jezebel spirit has, that's what I was just thinking when we were talking about her. I think that she has control over these people. When you brought up jealousy in the Jezebel spirit,
yeah,
I think these people are, I think that they're under control somehow. They must be on drugs, something that lowers the vibrational state. It could be anger, wrath, jealousy, pride. He has a lot of pride. I mean, so do I. I'm cocky as fuck, but like I know my worth, you know?
It's about being authentic, though. That's what you say. So, like, a lot of people are jealous of the authenticity, and I wasn't jealous of it. I was envious of it, about how, like, because in the churches, like, I come out of the church, so they teach you that you can't feel this way, you can't like these things, you can't talk like this, you can't follow Jesus and do this type of stuff, right? And it's just all these clauses, right? And I've seen my friends who are doing what they love for a living, and they're just being themselves, and that in itself is very sexy, right? People doing what they love for a living and being fully accepted and all of this stuff, right? Joe Rogan talks about it a lot. I had a buddy of mine, Illuminati Congo, who he does what he loves for a living, right? Go ahead.
Do you know him?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, he's a good friend.
Oh, yo, he's got the nicest page. He seems like the nicest guy.
Dude, he is, bro. He is.
Tell him, please.
Huh?
Like, send him a hello from me, please.
Yeah, dude. He's so awesome, bro. He really is. He's the real deal.
Is he black?
Yeah. Well, I think he's mixed, honestly.
I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a picture, but I imagine with the name Illuminati Congo, he was black.
Yeah, he's
black,
got dreads all the way down to the floor. Yeah, he's the real deal.
Okay, good. That makes me happy.
I always like to mention his name because working with a lot of people in the spiritual community, especially with the spiritual hip hop, there was a lot of fake people who just know it for like knowledge sake.
What is that? We've been subverted, dude. Yo, they're inside the walls, man. SOS.
And so dealing with all these fake people, the real one, you know what I'm saying? The real ones are very attractive. You're like, okay, this dude's the real deal. Let me learn what he's doing. Let me promote what he's doing. I want to build with him and work with him. So we got robbed a lot, like dealing with fake artists that we would pay for their studio time, and they'd take our money and then block us on Facebook. Like we'd
What?
send for features and collabs, big name people that a lot of people look up to in the spiritual community. We'd send them money to get on songs with us, right? Because they'd charge or have to pay for their studio time, and they'd block us and just basically say fuck you and take our money, you know. And so when it's somebody like Illuminati Congo or Aslan or some of these guys that I work with, or you for example, I love to kind of give you guys a shout out because
Yeah.
there's so many fake ones out there, you know.
Bro, I just try to support the people that I know. Like, I would rather, like, if you had a business, I'd rather support you than some 2-bit chump that's going to go use the money on fucking, you know, renting babies for sex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, spiritual community, and this shit blows my mind. Motherfuckers rather order on Amazon than order from me. But, like, what are you doing? You're supporting a giant conglomerate of assholes. Why don't you support the people that are actually trying to make a difference in the world? I never got that about the conscious community. It boggles my mind. Like, we got to support each other.
So we got a comment in a kind of a in the chat rooms, kind of a bridge I think we can get into. So Christy says, I've been sober from heroin for over 2 years, and I'm still extremely jealous, but I hold it in. I was filled with the Holy Ghost and spoke in tongues on September 12, 2015. I keep hearing I need to fast. Fasting, man. What's the power of fasting? Let's talk about that.
Bro, that's our most important weapon. I'm glad that you brought that up. Thank you so much for reminding me about the importance of actually regulating what you put into your body. When humans existed at a higher state of consciousness, we didn't have the need to eat that we have now. We descended from that state of consciousness rather abruptly about 4,000 years ago when Atlantis fell and people transferred off into Egypt and the other parts of the world and started building these new civilizations. Our bodies weren't actually made in the sense that we think eating is a thing that we need. It's the opposite. There were actually books removed from the Bible specifically about fasting. Did you know anything about that?
Hell yes. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Fasting is one of these things that's really fucking underplayed in our society. Muslims have the right idea. I mean, they literally 30 days straight typically don't eat from the time I wake up until about 4 o'clock. I wake up, I take kratom, which is for you, if what was her name, Christy?
Yeah, Christy.
Christy, if you are interested in kratom, it's a natural. It comes from the coffee plant family. Kratom is a very powerful. It's an opiate. It acts on your opiate receptors in I want to say 96% less addictive fashion than any actual traditional opiate, because it's not actually an opiate. It's an opioid acting on the opiate receptors.
Yeah.
Withdrawal from it is relatively insignificant. I went through heroin withdrawal for 6 days. I almost died. I had 106.7 fever. I was like cooking my brain. We didn't know if I was going to have a seizure. Anyway,
when it comes to kratom, what about gas station kratom? Because I mean that's the first thing. Oh, kratom, yeah, they sell it at the gas station. Like, is that okay or what? I'm sure that's mixed with some stuff, bro. It's got to be.
I think that people would put that shit, like, at least buy it in bulk off Amazon or something.
Yeah.
There's onlinekratom.com. Onlinekratom.com. ONLINEKRATOM. And that's somebody that, I get all my information from my followers. I don't research anymore. I'd go person to person for information because I'm like a giant global brain. I can do whatever I want. And get the information. I can manifest the information from multiple places. So this girl used to work at onlinekratom.com, and she said some really good stuff about it. And I post a lot on kratom because the FDA is trying to regulate it currently because it's curing opiate addiction.
They just made it illegal in Alabama, bro, where I'm at.
Bro, it's fucking bananas. Like, fuck. But they put a fucking transgender in office. Fuck that. Next door.
That, you know what? That was something that, kudos to you, someone who is in the spiritual community. And I showed a lot of people that first video that I seen where you just going in on the whole transgender issue.
That's ungodly, man. You're destroying God's temple. What the fuck are you doing? Who is promoting this bullshit? We're teaching this to fucking kids. Yeah. Not only is it unchristian, it's unethical, it's immoral. It's something that nobody should ever have access to doing. You cannot, this is not a fucking science experiment. God gave you a body. Suck it the fuck up. You have a mental disorder that stems from chemicals in your diet and environment. That's what we need to be addressing. The fact that everything's fucking poison. Not the fact that somebody thinks they're stuck in the wrong body. It's the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard anywhere ever. Makes me fucking sick.
Giving the kids the right to choose and pumping them full of estrogen and all these different pills at a very young age where their mind is still developing.
Insane.
Like, how many of us, let's be legit, and I've had this conversation privately with many people, how many of us have had these weird thoughts when we were kids that maybe I'm supposed to be gay, maybe I'm a gay man, maybe this and that, because whether it's things that have happened to you, being molested, that's number one that kind of comes with the territory of questioning your sexuality because of something that was done to you, something that you've watched on television that or maybe aroused you, and having these crazy questions coming into your head. What if you feed into all of these questions that come? We're not supposed to entertain all these damn thoughts that cross through our head, bro.
If you tell a motherfucking child that it could be a dragon in 20 years, that child will spend 19 and a half years of its life wishing it was a dragon, thinking it was going to happen in a year. You know what I'm saying? We're robbing children of their futures. There's a 40% suicide rate in post-op transgenders.
Yep.
We're helping these fucking people. They need our help. That's a cry for help. It's not a cry for surgery. These surgeons should be imprisoned. This is crazy.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts. And by the way, 1 in 2 kids is going to be autistic by 2020, just so you know. So imagine America in 2028 when 1 in 6 children is, or 1 in 2 kids is autistic and 1 in 6 is transgender if we keep promoting this bullshit agenda.
Let me ask you this about the autistic kids, though. Do you think that there's a benefit to that at all? Like maybe these are some of the star children that are coming through, man?
Not at all. It's not. It's it's a disconnect from soul body, and it's caused by so it's actually caused by the splicing of, if you can believe this, the splicing of DNA from a dolphin and an insectoid mixed with fungus, and somehow that in a lab equals the equation of autism. Now, I've thought about this before. Is that the next step in evolution? And I'll tell you why it's not. Because I'm pretty intuitive, and I mean, that's not really evidence, but just in my humble opinion, I've met some of these autistic kids, and what I see in their aura, what I see in their soul is a disconnect from their body and inability to operate their vehicle. And that's
okay. Well, what about, let me say, instead of autistic, maybe the ADHD kids and the kids who think and process differently. They can't learn in school, but they're super creative. They're super empathic. Those kids.
ADD is this label that you're giving. I don't believe in the construct of ADD. I was told I had ADD, ADHD. You're basically saying that a kid has something and something's wrong with them. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Something is very wrong with the system in which that kid's growing up in. And I think that's where we really.
And they're trying to sit them down in a chair for 8 hours a day and trying to get them to read a book and learn like that. When the kid is super smart, super empathic, super creative, but they're sitting them down.
It needs to learn with its hands. It needs to feel like. I can't learn something reading about it in a book. It's fucking for me, and I'm the king of ADD. Have you seen how much stuff I've touched? I can't sit still for 5 seconds. I don't want to. But these kids, we're literally torturing them in school. Our entire school system. Listen, if a flower won't grow, do you change the flower? No, you add more water. You give it more sunlight.
Yeah.
Put it in the earth or put it in a pot.
There's your answer.
Right. They're trying to change the kids. And the real problem, dude, is diet. Humans are not made to be eating. We were talking about fasting. Fasting, 3-day water fast on organic limes.
Yeah.
Something I sell is Elite Shungite. It's for your water. It purifies your water. It's amazing. It's a carbon family rock. It absorbs toxins. You change them every 6 months. Actually, if you give me your email, or if you give me your address, I'll send you some. You get that good water, bruh. You probably got that Smoky Mountain water, though, don't you?
No. I do run it through a couple different purifiers, though. We don't drink it right out the faucet.
Where are you at in the world? What state?
I'm in Alabama. Alabama.
Oh, that's right, Alabama.
In the South, right here by the Gulf.
Dirty.
Yep, dirty South. So, yeah, dude, there's a lot of stuff about fasting, and the stuff that comes out of your body at the end of the fast.
Coffee enemas, bro. Coffee enemas.
I've heard a lot about that.
Bro, you're missing out, dog. Shit is stuck inside of you.
Yeah.
Like it's been there for fucking years, dude.
Yeah.
Just stuck there. It's disgusting.
How does that work, man? Because we hear about it, we don't hear a lot of details. How does a coffee enema work?
Bag. It has like a little hose on it, and you put the tip of it in your ass, and the pressure just pushes the coffee into you. You just put it in your ass, like a little coconut oil, and you just jam it up there. And the pressure, you release the nozzle, and it just puts all the coffee inside of you. It has to be organic coffee. Coffee is the most pesticided plant in the world. So it has to be fucking pesticide and GMO free, or you're doing more harm. And never with tap water. Never. Because you're putting that shit directly into your bloodstream. Anything that goes in your ass,
Yep.
like when I do drugs, I'd pop ecstasy up my ass. That was like, I don't know why. I think my stomach was upset. Who knows? I was all fucked up.
That's how people are doing it, yeah.
I don't know. We were crazy kids. I don't know what the fuck.
So, as far as,
Oh, wait. The coffee enema.
yeah.
Do it, bro. You leave it in 15 minutes. Dude, shit comes out of you. First off, it kills parasites. All of us have parasites. Your stomach is full of these long, thin parasites. It's disgusting. But they're there. And the coffee kills them, and it tricks your kidneys into flushing out all of your blood. Your kidneys flush your blood once every 3 minutes. If you leave it in 15 minutes, you flush your blood 5 times. Super, super powerful. Good for cancer, everything, dude. A clean colon reflects in your whole body. Most important thing people could be doing is coffee enemas and drinking enough clean water and blessing the water, like with love. Write it on your water container, shit like that.
Yep, that works. We actually did the Dr. Emoto water experiment. We actually did that with the water and rice. Putting the rice in the jar and writing on it, I hate you, you're stupid. And on the other one, I love you. And then one just leaving it alone. It absolutely worked after 30 days.
It's insane. Everything that has water in it responds to our frequency. So, like, water is this substance that nobody understands, but it's more sacred than anything we could ever understand. It's an entity. It's like a living...
Yeah.
Like, when we say Mini Wakoni, like, with water is life, it really means, like, the Native Americans knew that. It's like some life form that gives us life. Which is why they...
You're talking about fasting and cleaning out with water, and then you mentioned some books that were taken out of the Bible. There's a powerful book called The Recognitions of Clement, and this is the writings of one of the disciples of Peter and Barnabas. His writings were taken out of the scriptures, but he goes into much detail about how demonic entities gain access to your body by gorging yourself on meat and keeping your stomach full and never having an empty stomach and having all of this bacteria and all of this meat, dead meat, always in your stomach, how it leads to demonic possession. That was a book that the early disciples had. Like, they went off of his writings and stuff, but they took that information from us. You can find it. It's powerful, man.
Bro, meat, I'm telling you, the whole meat thing is anything that you buy at a store has been intentionally mistreated.
Yeah.
Produce as much fear and loathing and agony into the cortisol, which is released into the blood, which contains iron, which transfers emotion when we eat it. Humans that are eating meat right now, bro, they're getting fucking possessed like that. It is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, the possession thing's kind of funny. I don't know how to treat it, but I just like watching it. I'm like, this bitch again, you know?
It's funny you say that because I've heard Joe Rogan talk about this, but my wife was a hunter. Huh?
You like Joe Rogan?
Some of it. I see through a lot of his stuff, though. He's one of the elite, you know.
Yeah, right. That's kind of what I thought.
He talks down about poor people and about people who work at Exxon and people who are stuck in dead-end jobs. He makes fun of those people. Like, every now and then, you can hear him gloating about his money and about how he looks down upon poor people. And I don't like that. I don't like that one bit, dude.
Yeah, I couldn't be rich if people were poor, you know? I mean, I couldn't. I'm going to be rich. I'll be famous because I'm doing great work. But I don't think that I could be happy with just money.
Yeah.
If people are suffering around me and everybody I know isn't thriving, then I don't think.
Dude, Jim Carrey is the prime example. We just watched his documentary.
Doesn't he just make me glow? He's just the most amazing guy.
He is, dude.
So much respect for Jim Carrey.
We just watched his documentary yesterday, and he talked about like achieving all of his goals and, you know, coming to this place where, you know, nothing is real, nothing exists, but it come from achieving all of his goals, having all the money that he could possibly dream of, and still being depressed, still being lonely and insecure after all of that, achieving everything that we think we need, stardom, fame, fortune, those type of things, which those things are necessary. Like we it's a part of life, fame and you know what I'm saying, renown, all of that stuff. But it's not about that. You can get that and still have this emptiness inside of you. It doesn't fulfill you, right? The things that we're talking about, the diet, just connecting with nature, connecting with the spirit realm, being one with God and knowing that you are. Money can't buy that. There's not a price on that.
There's no amount of money that could pay for having a wild parrot land on you because you're a good person. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Shit that you could never buy. You couldn't pay for a wild coyote to walk up to you because it knows you're not a threat. But that shit happens to me because I match the vibration of nature, bro. There's so much that we don't understand in this natural world. But bro, let me tell you, like, God acts through humans and nature.
Yeah.
Most humans are still acting in ego, so you're not meeting God. But if you go right into nature, that's God. That is fucking a manifestation of divine intelligence that's here to serve you. Like, it just wants to be your friend. But it wants to kill everything.
Talking about like I said, the meat thing, and my wife, she used to hunt a lot when she was a kid, and even when we got together, she was hunting. I never could do it. I got a weak stomach. I can't see animals in pain or bleeding. Like I just can't. But she can. I mean, she grew up doing it, and so there's a huge difference of seeing her kill an animal, kill a deer, and then bring it home, and we can eat for a year off of one deer.
Yeah.
And the food, it tastes different. Like when you're eating it, it's a sense of gratitude. Whether it's if we grew tomatoes or peppers in the backyard and we harvest them and we eat them, and we're eating a deer that my wife killed, right? It feels different when you eat the meat. There's a thankfulness there versus let's just slam this fast food that we have a disconnect with our food, right?
Dude, it's fucking crazy what we're putting. Now, I've done a lot of drugs, and I've done a lot of, like, eating really unhealthy. I've done a lot of crazy shit, but the point of it is you have to know what you're doing, and I don't think a lot of people are aware that there's a problem. They think that this is actually food, but, dude, none of this is food. Like, go out of the earth, you can't eat it. Your body doesn't know what the fuck to do with it. I don't care how many labels they put on it. It's useless.
Yep. It's funny, like, even it's not funny, but McDonald's and some of the other places have coined the term beef, like 100% beef or whatever they call it. It's not beef, but it's these other preservatives and stuff that they call beef, and they have the market on it. So it's okay to say this is made with 100% beef, and it's not cattle like we would think beef is.
So started making it in a lab. A lot of that shit doesn't even come from an actual animal. It's never seen sunlight. It didn't have a heart that beated. It was like a random piece. And now China, we outsource most of our meat to China. So we get shit that's grown in a lab that we don't even know what went into it. Dude.
Yeah.
That's why I don't touch any of that shit anymore. I'll kill an animal and eat it. I haven't since I've been conscious, but if I had to hunt and eat. But I would never buy meat. Fuck that. You're not going to get that shit into me. It's better to shoot heroin.
Yep.
The same thing. You're gonna kill yourself either way.
There's a huge disconnect when it comes to the food and what we're putting into our bodies, and to the whole vegan thing. It's sexy to like not have a to not have to kill anything to sustain. But when we get past that and we quit beating ourselves up, we got to understand that life consumes life. And that's just the way it goes. When you go to the sink and you wash your hands, you're killing life. When you go to the toilet, you're killing life. When you take a shower, there are microscopic organisms all over our body, and they're thriving off of us, and they're living off of us. And when we wash our hands, we take a shower, we're killing them. When we blow our nose, we're killing them. Everything that we do, life consumes life. And whether you're just having a plant-based diet, those plants are living. Like, they communicate with each other and with us, right? So
There's nobody knows how to listen to plants. Every single person knows that a cow, if you stick a knife in its neck,
Yeah.
it's going to cry. It doesn't want to die. The plant, when a fruit is ready, it drops from a tree.
yeah,
It's a hint, humans.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have to kill it. It literally fell in fucking front of you.
yeah.
Get how we're having an animal holocaust going on right now, and nobody's saying anything. It's fucking disgusting.
And when you eat it, it actually does that in a way that it reproduces itself. Definitely for the indigenous people, because when you would eat it and then you would take a crap in the woods, those seeds that are in that orange or that apple, it's gonna reproduce itself. It's smart. It knows how to thrive and survive. So essentially, it needs you to eat it and to kind of travel and reproduce itself, right?
Yeah, isn't that crazy how that works? I always thought that was amazing.
It's smart. Yeah, it knows what it's doing. Vegetation, mold, all of these theories. When you zoom out from the Earth and it looks like mold, and humans and the cities and Las Vegas, Los Angeles, all of these places look like cancer upon the face of the Earth, right?
Bro, let me tell you, dude, mold is the scariest thing in the jungle aside from ants. Mold is everywhere where I live, dude. So for those of you who don't know, I just travel around the jungles of South America, and mold is scary as shit, bro.
Let me ask you about, because I just started doing this rape, and I don't want to do it wrong. It keeps going down my nasal cavity, my sinuses, into my throat. Is that going to happen? Like,
No, you shouldn't be. Okay, when you first blow it in, so practice with the strength of your blow. Like you'll start. You want to lock up. There's a flap that you can shut in your nose, inside of your.
Yeah, by not breathing and just concentrating. Yeah.
Right. So it sounds like what you did is you lodged it up too far, and then started to lodge up there, and then trickle down.
Yeah.
Is that what it feels like?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you blow it up, blow it lighter, blow like a real... How long is your caripe? Let me see it. It's like 3 inches long.
It looks about the same as yours.
Mine's pretty tiny.
Yeah, it's not real big.
It's a little bigger, okay. Give it like one solid push, or you could blow it really soft,
So you don't have to do it hard.
No, you do, but what you could do is blow it soft so that it kind of lodges in the front portion first, and by the time you get to the final push where you... Like you will have your tongue come up and close your mouth and push the air out at the end. Like the same way you shoot a blowgun.
Yeah. Or like a shofar.
What's that?
A ram's horn. It's like a trumpet. Yeah.
Exactly. Or a paunch or whatever. Yeah. Eso. Yeah, so you shouldn't have that happening. That's not a normal thing. That's a side effect of just learning how to use the caripe properly.
So we got some people commenting in the chat. Brandon Lancaster, what's up, brother? He says, I believe Isaiah 65 states even animals will be vegan. He says we can all eat a Daniel diet with the grocery store. I will say that in my meditation and connecting with the ETs or the angels, whatever you want to call them, they told me to continue it. If I want to keep up communication, that when I want to make contact, they told me to eat vegetarian. They did tell me that. And it kind of goes along in the scriptures that when they would have angelic communication, they would fast. Some cases, they wouldn't eat anything. They would just drink water. And then other cases, they would just eat fruits and vegetables for 2 or 3 weeks. And during that period, they would try to make contact, and angels would show up and bring messages for them about their life's path, what they're supposed to do for the kingdom. So there's a time of separation and getting your body clean so that you can receive these messages openly, and that angels can approach you.
I think that's very true. When we talk about shamanic cultures or indigenous cultures, a lot of them have incorporated fasting into their their spiritual practices. And just, I think fasting is, obviously what they were talking about in the scriptures is the hallucinations that people induce when they fast.
Yeah.
Which are powerful. And then coupled with meditative breathing, pranic breathing, or ujjayi breath, you can really achieve states of enlightenment far beyond me. It's just, it takes the actual work to do it. So
yep.
if people are getting into this, some way to do that easily is to use a microdose of mushrooms to kind of help you bring yourself into that platform to be a channel. I think that mushrooms are kind of here as an ET tool, like a weapon almost, to make the light forces more conscious, like to give us a direct connect to their consciousness.
To
because
them,
they're not going to come here and rescue us, but if we ask for help,
it's like a walkie-talkie, bro.
Exactly, bro. And
like
the walkie-talkie. You got to push the button to make the contact, or do the pranic breathing, or ujjayi breath, or meditation, or you want to do.
Yeah, all of it has its places. So just to like vouch for one is not really the way to go, but all of them have it. If you're just relying on mushrooms, I don't think that's the way. If you're just relying on breathing, I don't think that's the way. I think it's a little bit of all of it. I think we have many different tools that we can use to walk in the spirit, to have contact with the angelic beings and those who are who have actually gone on before us, the ancestors, connecting with them. I mean, that's even in the Bible. People don't even know that. There's a huge movement now where people are connecting with the saints and prophets who have went before us through prayer and through fasting, and the prophets are showing up, having conversations with people, letting them know what to do on their life journey, letting them know that they're on the right path. Like some of the people are saying in the chat room, you're on the right path, and they're having these encounters with these saints and prophets of old.
Bro, you know what's weird? At church, they hand you those little wafers, the little Nilla wafers, the little body of Christ. Yeah. Bro, they look an awful lot like a mushroom. If I was a pagan Christian church back in the day, I'm pretty fucking sure that the body of Christ would be a mushroom.
Yeah. It sounds a lot like it as far as the manna is concerned. That you go out and you collect it early in the morning when there's dew on the ground, and if you don't get it soon enough, it's gonna dissipate. It's gonna go away. I mean, that really is mushrooms. There's a big debate about that. My only concern with it about being psychedelic mushrooms and saying that everybody partook of them is that it was only the priest class who was the ones who were hearing from God. So the regular people, it could have been a different type of mushrooms that they were seeing, but it was only Moses and Aaron and the priest class who were having the visions and doing that, and all the people would consult the prophets for that. So that's the big thing with that. If everyone was eating psychedelic mushrooms, you wouldn't need a priest, right?
Yeah, right. Everybody would be a shaman.
Yep.
People keep in mind, like, you don't actually have to take an eighth of mushrooms at a time. Sometimes I'll take 2 grams of mescaline or 1 gram of mushrooms, or I still like acid, but the only reason I'll do it is because I actually know the people who make it. Mm-hmm. So it's not like a quality control thing where somebody's giving me strychnine. I don't advocate chemicals to be used, but I'm honest about what I do.
Yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do, because my shit's so deep I can't get away. Anyway, yes. So microdose is really effective if you want to ease into something. I always recommend a 3.5 gram dose for the first time to just kind of connect you. But
yeah, just to see how it works out and not go in over your head on the first time.
Yeah, I was saying go over your head the first time. My bad.
Oh, really? 3.5? Really?
I would say for the first trip on mushrooms, you really want to be in a safe place with people you trust in a safe environment, and you want to go all in.
I did about 2.5 the first time, and then,
You liked it, right?
I loved it. Yeah, but I thought I was an expert after that, and then went back for my second time, right over 5 grams, and I disappeared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So typically in the shaman cultures, you'll do 3 nights in a row of a substance. Like for ayahuasca, you'll do 3 nights in a row, traditionally with the day off after the second day. And the interesting thing is the first trip on ayahuasca in particular, mushrooms, mescaline, peyote, cactus, Peruvian torch, whatever you're doing, the first trip is always real good. It's like an introduction. It's like when you meet a girlfriend for the first time, you're like, oh my God, look at those tits and that smile. And then
Is that what you say when you meet a girl? You're being honest. Hey, this is about honesty. You're being honest.
Fuck, what can I do? It's good. Honest and charismatic. I can do whatever I want. Nobody will really judge me anymore. It's great.
Yeah, I know, right?
Fucking care. I don't remember what I was talking about. Sorry.
Yeah, you were equating meeting girls with
Oh
mushrooms.
yeah. Girl for the first time, you're like, oh man, you're fucking gorgeous, and then you've lived with her for 2 years, and that's the second trip. That's when she gets pissed off that she found a dick pic text or something.
Oh wow.
That's the girl, and it's like, oh boy, this is totally different now. But this is not what I met. So that's the second trip. Typically, it's usually a little more aggressive, a little more open and raw. It really opens you up to the medicine.
Yeah.
In the end, causes a heart chakra opening, which is a good thing. But just be in a safe place, you know? That's what it's about. You have to be in a safe place. Because if you want to jump off of a bridge, you might want to do that because you might feel like it's a really bad trip. And I've almost killed myself on trips.
Wow. Yeah, it's very, very important. On the deep trip that we did, I had a brother who did it for the first time. He's never smoked pot or anything. It was just straight 5 grams of mushrooms, and he had an amazing encounter with us. We were on the roller coaster together. We were in those realms together, laughing, joyous, taken to some deep transcendental states. And then, as we were coming down a little bit, you're in this weird place where time doesn't exist, and that place can get kind of scary, right? And I mean, that's where he was, and I knew I had to kind of come out of it to coach him and be there for him, and I did. And it was really, really awesome how when it was time for everything to kind of get serious, how I was able just to kind of snap out of it and pull myself together to kind of help him through his encounter.
You know, that's what a lot of people say too. Every time that I've been on mushrooms or a hallucinogen and something bad's happened, I've had the wherewithal to be able to get out of it. It wasn't like I was trapped. I snapped right out of the trip.
He was trapped. He was trapped because it feels like time doesn't exist. And so we talked about it on another podcast, but I have a lot of friends who have done either mushrooms or LSD, and they talk about feeling like they died in purgatory waiting to be judged by God because there's no time there. You're in this weird state because time doesn't exist. You lose all awareness of what time it is and seconds and minutes. And
anyway, that's our bullshit. The time is not actually a thing. We just measure change we measure change and call it time.
Yeah. And that's where like when you're doing mushrooms or acid or even like in deep states of meditation, time doesn't exist anymore. And it's scary if you don't know what's going on, and that's where he was. And he didn't know if he was ever going to go back. He thought he may reincarnate as somebody else. Like it was hard for him to understand what was going on, and being in a realm where no time existed, and it feels weird. It feels like you're going to be there forever.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I mean, I kind of see that as truth nowadays because. Yeah. I don't really believe in the whole time thing anymore. I mean, It's more like just a slave construct.
Yeah.
But I don't have to be anywhere. I'm not, it's nice. Great.
Dude, I can't believe we've already done an hour.
Wow, it's what time is it? It's 2:22 here.
11:22. So you're 2 hours. You're 3 hours ahead of me. Oh, okay. Wow. I'm always off on the time thing, trying to match up the time zones with people, trying to schedule these episodes, and people don't show up because they think it's like 4 hours from now. Just trying to connect on that. It's weird.
Even when I'm in the States, I don't know which time zone is which. But then when I'm down here, it's hard for me to. I'm 2 hours ahead of New York.
Yeah, I know I'm 2 hours ahead of California, so. If anybody has any questions, you guys can call in. Anybody wants to say hello, the number's streaming across the top of the platform and as well as in the description. Give us a call if you'd like to call in and say hello. I know, Brandon, you wanted to talk, and there's a lot of people who want to connect, so I make sure that I have these phone lines open and available for people who want to connect and ask questions and stuff, so that's available. Wow. So, man, what about the crazies, man? I don't know if we've talked about the crazies in the inbox. So you You get the crazies who are in like the spiritual communities and who think that they're like Jesus reincarnated or the Archangel Michael, and they have a message for you and stuff like that.
One of the things that I had the good intuition of doing since the beginning was blocking people.
Yeah, me too.
So I have 160,000 people blocked, and I have 72,000 followers. So for one person that followed, I blocked 2 people.
Yeah.
I had my stats done the other day by some guy off Fiverr in India.
Yeah.
And broke down my following and how many they looked at the whole. Anyway, the bottom line is, fuck yeah, I get crazies. I get these people that I'll block on one account, and they'll come back to one of my other 8 accounts, and they'll start going off. I've had people, send me pictures of me walking in the street and saying, "We're watching you." Huh. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I'm strapped. But these people are crazy, and the social media networks are just an absolute loony bin.
Yeah.
A lot of these waking up, what I'm realizing is that they're actually experiencing, toxic syndromes, and they're actually displaying like schizophrenic snaps and psychological breaks. A lot of them do believe that they're Jesus. I mean, I came to that conclusion too. I was like, I'm Jesus, you're Jesus, we're all Jesus. Like, I'm gone.
Yeah, in the end, yeah.
They're like, okay, I get it.
But not exclusively, right?
Right, not exclusively. Like, if you see it in yourself, see it in everybody.
Exactly. We got a shout out here from the in the chat room. Violet Sky she says, "Hi from Wales, Great Britain. Love your show, refreshingly truthful." Thank you so much for tuning in, holding us down all the way in Great Britain. That's what's up.
West side till I die.
Mm-hmm. Just watching the chat too, trying to pay attention to the chat and some of the conversations going on there, seeing if there's any way we can bring in questions from the chat as well.
Callers at? Where are the callers at? I do good under pressure. I know. Where my friends at?
I know, it's funny because it's actually kind of a tedious process to connect the chat room and the callers and stuff like that, but when I don't do it, people want to call in. They're like, "Bro, I tried to call in, but the phone lines weren't open." It's like, oh, when I open them, you don't call in.
Yeah.
Or we get the prank callers calling in too.
I can trolls, dude. I'm so good with trolls. You have no idea.
Oh man, I had a show, a little podcast that we started for a short period of time called "We Are the Trolls." And it was just a couple of guys on there just hanging out, being funny, talking about current events and news and having a couple of beers, that type of deal. But we'd have people call in and try to troll us, and then and on the old program I had, it showed me their phone number, and so we could give out their name and all that kind of. When they would call and troll in, I'd copy their name and number and look it up, and it would give me all their info on Facebook. And it's like, well, let's send a version of this recording over to their mom and their dad and their sisters and everybody, and you know what I'm saying, show them what their son is doing on the internet,
Bro, I just, the trolls kind of started to chill with me. I think I've pretty much blocked all the real serious trolls.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with the ramifications of blocking them, so I don't really think that that's going to be an issue anymore for me personally. Just block as many of them as you can.
Yeah, I do that. Dude, I got nervous this one time because there's a community of them. There's communities of trolls, right? And so I got nervous one time because I put out one of my videos that was getting a lot of traction on Facebook, and it was just one of my my music videos, and I had a lot of views. I think I had like 22,000 views on it at the time. And these people started commenting, and they were like, "Hey, is this guy uncle?" And they were replying to each other. "No, I don't know if this guy's an uncle. No, he's better than uncle. Uncle so and so would turn over in his grave. I think this is his nephew." And they were having these conversations with all these people on my video about me being an uncle, and
recently, last 2 months.
They were calling me Uncle Adam and saying I was another Uncle Adam. So I was like, let me look up who Uncle Adam is. So I looked up the name Uncle Adam, and it's this really corny white rapper who raps about science and stuff. But he's got millions of views on YouTube, but all dislikes. Like his like to dislike ratio was all red, and he's got thousands of comments of all people like begging him to sleep with his wife. "Uncle Adam, please come sleep with my wife. You promised that you would." And they're all like asking this guy, and they're trolling him. but they're begging him to sleep with their wives and just trolling. And these guys started to come on my page, and I went to his page. He's got 1 million followers, but it's all trolls. And I was like, oh my God, I went fast as I could, just started blocking all those guys before they just really caught on to what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And I blocked all of them. So
I'm blocking one right now.
yeah.
They're everywhere.
So we do have a calling from Texas. One of the prank callers used to call in from Texas, but I'll go ahead and take this call. Caller from Texas, who we speaking with?
Hello?
Hey, what's up? Who we speaking with?
Hello? Hey, this is Brandon.
What's going on, bro?
Oh, nothing much. I'm not calling in about veganism, but I had a question before that came up. I think you might be able to help a little bit. Oh, first of all, I want to say I love your music, big fan. It's really changed my life.
Thank you, bro. It means a lot.
So the question is, I've done DMT, been on a spiritual journey for a long time. I'm an ex-biblical minister, Christianity. Got into Judaism from further studies and whatnot. But anyway, I feel the love of Christ, Christ as, pure love. And I want to say this, from someone who's done a lot of studying, how do I incorporate Jesus, Yeshua, pure love, or I guess, or just the character of Jesus, knowing the Bible is corrupted in ways, like Jeremiah says, the lying hand of the scribe, I'm not trying to be mean or argumentative or nothing like that.
I would say that there's enough truth in there to lead people to salvation, to lead people into relationship with Christ, with God, with love. I mean that's definitely there. There is a lot of changes. There's a lot of books that were taken out. I do respect the Hebrew version. So I mean, if you are a scholar, definitely if you got into Judaism, you would know to go back to the Hebrew and Greek and actually do the breakdowns on the words and the Hebrew idioms to really find out what it was saying before it got converted to English, which in many cases are saying a lot of opposite stuff. So as a Berean, as someone who's given themselves over to studying, you can do that. And there's a lot of people. I've got friends who teach biblical Hebrew, and that's where their heart is, and finding out what stuff really means, and stuff that we have over here in the West, and teachings that they teach in church are like totally against what the Bible was originally saying in those other languages, man. So I mean, that's one thing. I do think that there's still a lot of truth there. But you really just take what you learn through that. So my story is that I came into a relationship with God through Jesus. Like that was my introduction. I didn't do mushrooms and didn't think that and encounter God or nothing like that. So I keep that with me, right? So everywhere I go, that's part of my story. And so no matter where I go, that's still my story. And I haven't abandoned that. Now, I've abandoned the faith as far as westernized Christianity and what they teach. But the fact as having an encounter with Jesus, who is essentially love made manifest, love that became a person, like I don't think we can ever go wrong with that,
Yeah, I feel that.
What you was about to say, Corey?
Yeah, I was going to say that we all came into, in my humble opinion, I think that most of us came into a relationship with God through darkness, through fear.
Exactly.
It wasn't even Jesus. Jesus was the way out of that hole.
Yeah.
But for everybody that's out there listening, I want everybody to understand that you're going to get to God through the pain. You're not going to get there through love.
And that's one.
Find the love through the pain.
Yep. That's one thing that the churches don't really teach, is this whole notion that when they talk about God being what they call, what's the word to use, that God he's over all. So God is sovereign. So everything that happens, everything that exists in our lives is a part of God, and God did it, and he caused it, and he allowed it to happen. All the darkness. So instead of trying to cast out our demons and rebuking our demons, we find out through like the body of scripture that our demons are here for a reason. The darkness is here for a reason, to show us how marvelous the light is. And whether the light is Jesus to you, or it's just love, or whatever you call that, I call it Jesus. We don't have to call it that. That's not his name. His name is Yeshua, or Yahshua ben Yosef, which means Yah is salvation. You know what I'm saying? So it's really however we want to term it. But the demons, man, if you can't learn from the demons, then you're just going to keep taking those tests over and over and over again. And we see that many times in our own lives, and people who are still dealing with all the negative stuff and haven't ascended to the next level.
Yo, someone told me a story about how they were at healing school. It was Maya, my ex. She told me a story. She was at healing school, and there was this woman there who had this big red demon plaguing her. And so they were trying to coach her out of that. It was a real thing. I mean, it was harassing her for years.
Yeah.
Wait, so in a meditation, this chick went up to the demon and she asked it why it was harassing her. And at the same time, she said, "You're scaring me. Why are you harassing me?" In the meditation, and the demon looked at her and turned around. Its face was like hers. And it said, "All I wanted was a hug. And I thought that you'd be strong enough to." So it blew my fucking mind. It makes me cry.
No, that's deep.
Like, what the fuck? We judge everything based on it being evil. But if that's a part of you, then that means that that's a suffering part of you. And if you're a part of all, then that's like your mirror reflection and fucks you up. But, I think it's healthy. You just want to give everything love. You don't want to hate anything. You can't. You're never going to hate something enough to make it love you or make it love itself. Yep. You're just going to hate it and then put it down. I mean, my personal.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Like, there's a lot of breakthrough that happens when people who are struggling with addiction or self-identity or having these negative thoughts and stuff, and then they find that coupled with running into entities in their sleep, or having a reoccurring nightmare of a demon chasing them, or Freddy Krueger or Jason or whatever that demon kind of manifest as in the dream state. When you finally stop and turn around in the dream state to face the demon instead of trying to run from it, then they find breakthrough in their waking life because they've faced it in the dream state. And I've encountered that on several occasions where these nightmares are reoccurring, waking up in sweats and thinking I'm about to get killed or whatever the case is, and then I finally turn around to face it. The nightmares stop and I find breakthrough in my waking state.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So yeah, Brandon, thanks for calling, bro. Got okay, yeah, Brandon. So Brandon's off the line now. So yeah, man, an hour and 17 minutes. Anything that you want to talk about that we didn't cover? Coy.
I would say to people that are following pages online, I would say one thing about what you're following. Like, okay, our diets are fucked up in life, right? And a diet doesn't just mean like, a diet's not just what you eat. A diet is like what you're putting into your body, what you're consciously absorbing. It means the water you drink. It means the air that you breathe, the food that you eat, the relationships you have, the shit that you allow into your sacred space. If you can't see somebody's face, how do you trust them? Like, there's a lot of these faceless, nameless pages online that are talking a whole lot of nonsense about a whole lot of stuff.
Yep.
But if you can't see their eyes, I mean, I'm a lot like a dog. I live with 8 dogs and a coyote. I don't know humans very well, but an animal won't ever greet another being unless it can see its face. So don't, believe half of what you see, none of what you hear, and all of what you feel when it comes to the online trolls. Because there's, you never know somebody until you can see their face.
I've interviewed some people who are over some of those big pages online, and they got big just by spending money. They put a lot of ad revenue, over $1,000 into it. I think they're at like maybe 200,000 likes on Facebook, and they have this huge reach now. And it's not because they're good at what they do, but that they spent money on ad revenue that got them likes, and they have a big reach that they bought and paid for. It's part of marketing. It comes with the territory. But the person in general has pissed a lot of people off, and it's not who they claim to be. And this is a big page that, if you guys want to do I'm not going to say the name, but if you guys want to do the research, I interviewed this person, and they have a huge Facebook following, like over 200,000 likes.
Yeah, that was something that came presented to me, was that, I could pay for stuff on my journey to make it go faster.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is like, if I pay somebody to follow my page, they're automatically unfollow the first minute they see a Palestine post or a fuck
Yeah.
Israel or a vegan post I don't want to buy anything. I am starting to network with some of the much, much, much larger pages in the millions. And basically I'm working out something where I can pay them for ads.
Yeah.
Just to get my shout outs out there. But I'm being censored so much on Instagram. Like, 2,000 people see a post in 24 hours. The rest of it don't see it for 6 days.
Yeah.
Like, go up on the timelines anymore. So I have to start being creative with this.
Yep, you definitely do. You got to find out ways to outwit them. And and with that being said, before we went live, I named this episode "Psychedelics and Plant Medicine," which we talked about it last time. But I went ahead and changed. I took the word psychedelics out of there because they will demonetize it from the certain words that we use, and so they're like. Taking the ads off of particular videos and pages and stuff like that, and making it hard to make a living doing what we do. And my page got deleted the last time we did our interview. My page got pulled and I lost everything.
They took your YouTube down?
Yep. Deleted everything, bro. And so I'm just kind of starting from scratch again with that. I'm backing up all my stuff now. I lost some really beautiful interviews with I got to interview Jay Gordon from the band Orgy, who, like, when I was a teenager, I loved that band, man. And I got to interview him. I lost that interview, man. And it's somebody who I looked up to, like, as a kid. As being
Bro,
like,
you have our first interview?
I do. It's up. Yeah, that one is preserved. Yeah.
Will you just email the link to me?
I'll send it to you. And the only reason I have that one is because one of the followers downloaded it and sent it to me after the fact. They're like, "Hey, I got a couple of your interviews," and one of the followers sent me that. So that's how that one got preserved.
Like, they're the most important part of our lives. Like, I'm so grateful for the following I have. Like, they've provided me a life beyond all of my wildest dreams, and they've funded me, they've loved me, they've supported me, they've stuck by me, they've fought with me, they've been approached with me. These are people I would fucking fight and die for any day of the week. And I've never, but all my fucking life, I'd give everything I had to see them free.
Yep. I feel the same way about my supporters, man. And it's awesome that, I'm saying, I have the Patreon up there. So it's a community where, like, we get to meet, we get to hang out. I've interviewed a couple of them, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of these guys we've actually met in person. We're a tribe. We've been on vacation together. Like, the patrons, the supporters, the followers who believe in the work, man. You know what I'm saying? That and even on Patreon, where they're willing to support it financially, whether it's the music or the podcast or whatever the case is, it means the world to me, dude.
Yeah, bro. When you think about it, like, people like us that have, in thousands of followers, if each person donates $1 a month,
yep.
Like, if everybody that I have donated $1 a month, I would have $70,000 a month that I could put into projects that generate revenue for the future and sustain wildlife and orphanages.
Yep.
So I'm trying to get everybody on board. It's difficult with crowdfunding. A lot of people don't know if you're a scam. They don't know. But the fact of the matter is, I have 7,000 posts. I do this 24/7. I've answered every DM that's ever been sent me ever. And all I want to do is help people. I think it's rubbing off now. People realize my following realizes I'm super real. But there's that troll campaign online. The one that fucked with you, they're going hard on me, dude.
Yeah.
I started making posts about GMO weed, and the dispensaries started getting pissed off at me.
Yeah.
So it's all the weed pages from Colorado and California. And they're super.
Well, something's up when you see a video of some of the dispensaries that have bars, and there's 7 people in there passed out, drooling and pissing on themselves in these weed dispensaries.
Yeah, dude, they're fucking up the weed. They would never make it legal if they left the medicine in it.
Yeah, it's insane, man. So, yeah, because I wanted to talk about the whole YouTube thing, my YouTube channel getting suspended, and so a call to action for you listening if you're listening to this on YouTube, please make sure that you go subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or Android. And so there's links in the description. Just click that link. So if they pull my YouTube again, and they do it without even telling you why. So make sure that we're still connected on iTunes or Audible or those other accounts and stuff. So, but your page got pulled for a short period of time, didn't it? Your Instagram?
That not nuts, bro? They took down one of my big pages. They took down Third Eye Opener. Now I have 2 pages that they don't know about that have over 250,000 followers combined, but I've never told anybody that they're mine. They're my backups in case shit really goes bad.
Yeah.
And I almost had to activate them. I was so fucking angry. Like,
yeah.
Third Eye Opener, that's like, so anyway, now I have all my information backed up. I have all of the posts, like I'm getting them cataloged for my new website, which, by the way, guys, check out thirdeye.opener.com if you get a chance. 3rdEyeOpener.com. And that's my new website. That's going to have a community tribe function. I'm dropping an app in the next year that's going to give us a social media platform of sorts, more geared around disseminating information to the larger pages that are yet censored. So yeah, a lot of good things coming up. I have also 2 stores, thirdeyeopener.etsy.com and thirdeyeroots.com, where I have a pineal gland supplement, a 3-step decalcifying agent, and a nootropic, which is similar to Adderall. It's like a plant-based Adderall.
Yeah, we had some people who said that they were looking for some of the products on your website and they wanted some more info. So definitely throw those links out there.
Yeah, I got the dopest fucking website too.
Oh, you do, bro. You got yeah, dude, you got an awesome site because I actually build sites for a living. So you got an awesome site. It looks really good.
Until you see the new one, Third Eye Opener is going to be everything that we ever wanted. It's going to have a tribe function. That's my goal, by the way, guys. You guys don't know me that well, but I'm creating communities to bring people to get them out of the system, give them a place to live in exchange for offering their skill or service. And then I'd like to have an orphanage, a wildlife sanctuary, and a retreat, bringing money into the place. Mm-hmm. It's a genius idea. I don't want to have to crowdfund it, so I'm doing it a little differently. There's a large plan that's in place right now. I have investors, but we're looking at the next 3 years to have it set up and operational. It's going to be a big, big deal. The first of its kind, a community of the people for the people in the jungle, a real tribe of people.
You guys who are listening, man, make sure that y'all go and follow him on Instagram. Check out his website. He's got a bunch of cool stuff, and he's a supporter of my work. So this is all about networking. He shares my videos all the time, and I get whenever he gives me a shout out, I get a bunch of followers, man. Thank you for that, bro. Every time you give me any type of shout out, your people come over there and subscribe, and they get to check out the music that they've never heard. So it's awesome.
Oh, bro, I was thinking about putting a link. I want to put some of your music up on my page. You want to, maybe we put up the video for Fearless and we just have it playing in the background or something. Yeah. That was the song that got me to change my whole life, bro. That song, I was like, fuck all of you motherfuckers. Fuck you.
I'm not afraid. We're going to be saved. Just keep the faith. Yeah.
Don't be a slave. That's what kept playing in my head. It was like, don't be a slave, dude. No matter what they tell you to do, they're not doing it for you. Them just leave. And I did. I left everything, bro. I gave away everything I had. I went to Maui with like $600 to a woofing job. Someone gave me a Lexus, and I managed living on Maui for a year, just driving around doing whatever the fuck I wanted. It was the best experience of my life, all because of that song. I never would have quit my job. I would have been a slave right now. Thank the world.
We got a call from Central Florida. Who we speaking with?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, what's up? Who we speaking with?
Hey, my name is John. I just wanted to say that, like, honestly, like, fuck niggers. I hope they all burn, and the Antichrist, and 9/11 was the inside job.
Hey, did you know I slept
with about that?
I slept with your mother last night. Did you feel it?
You slept with my mom?
Yeah.
You are muted.
He felt it in his third eye.
Oh, bro, DM me on Instagram with your address, and we'll see how much of a fucking funny guy you are against blacks when I send a bunch of fucking Bandango motherfuckers to your house to burn it down.
Yeah, okay, so so the internet is used as an awesome platform for people to connect with
assholes?
No, just to kind of find your tribe. Like whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find on the internet. And it's an awesome platform to give you a voice, but it also acts as a platform to give people a voice who don't need one or an opinion or whatever, you know?
Bro, I hate racists. It's the one thing I really can't stand. Like, fuck all humans.
Well, the whole thing about a keyboard coward, a troll, is that these people would never This caller, this little white kid who just called in, he would never go to a black guy and say that to their face. The internet takes away the repercussions from that. And so we get what you call essentially a keyboard coward. They go on radio shows and stuff. I used to do it. I get where he's coming from. I did it a lot better than that. You got to try to make it seem original for a lot longer. You got to seem interested, and then just somewhere bring it far left. Act like you're interested. Act like you're a legit caller at first. Have a legit question, and then go left on it. Kind of gain the trust. That's how you know you're a good prank caller. I used to do this stuff, man.
Bro, when I was younger, I went on a radio show and I was gonna win $500 if I convinced my mom I was gay. Bro, it was the best fucking radio show because she kept saying the craziest shit. She's like, Adam, I caught you in your bedroom a week ago with this woman. That's a bold lie. And I was like, what a dick, you know. I really tried to get the $500. She wasn't buying it. I lost.
That's hilarious.
That's great.
I used to call in the radio shows when I was a little kid, and the easiest ones were what they have here is called Swap Shop. And it's basically like a Craigslist on the radio. You call in, and it's a bunch of rednecks and stuff. They're like, hey, I got a lawnmower for sale. If you want to come get it, it's $25. My address and my phone number is this. And it's, okay, thank you for calling Swap Shop. And if somebody else calls, and they put you live on the air. So we would call in, and I'm live on the air. I got the platform, all these thousands of people listening, and I would do what that kid just did. So there's some sympathy there because I used to do it, and it's part of the karma. Like, I did it to other people. Now I have a radio show, and now those young kids are doing it to me, right?
I don't get it. That doesn't seem funny. I mean, I guess it does. I like to prank call people, and I'm glad he threw 9/11 was an inside job.
I know, right? That doesn't make sense.
But I don't like it because he's pushing the division agenda with the blacks and the whites. And like the thing is, you know, go up to an American black person and say, do you hate me because I'm white? And the odds are that person's just going to smile at you and be like, no, you're human. I love you. I'm Christian.
My God. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I used to work with people who were in the KKK, like on my job site. I didn't know that. And then I'm riding in the truck with them, and they all are what they call card-carrying Klansmen. They all have cards down there in the woods of Mississippi, and they hated black people, dude. And you know what they hate more than a black person? A white boy who wants to be black.
That's it.
And they couldn't stand me, dude. So Nicholas says he's curious about the nature version of Adderall. So if you want to go into that product you was talking about a little bit more.
So like basically every chemical in existence is synthesized from plants to start. Like nothing comes from something that isn't plants or
Tylenol and all that stuff as well.
Tylenol's like willow's bark is aspirin.
Yep.
Like, everything's come from a plant. Anyway, long story short, we at Third Eye Roots Supplements decided to kind of take some of nature's goodies and put them into a pill form, a vegan capsule, to amplify your natural ability to concentrate, to focus, energize, oxygenate cells, open up blood vessels in the brain using nature. Because I don't really I like getting high on drugs, but I don't want to do pharma medications if I don't have to, because that's like, while I love being high, I also understand that this is God's temple, and I don't really want to lower my vibration doing like Adderall. I mean, I do sometimes lower my vibration doing crazy shit, but I want to come up with a solution for that. So basically, it's called the On Switch. We named it that because when you take 5 of them, it's lion's mane mushroom, alpha lipoic acid, cacao extract, beetroot, just 8 ingredients that put together. I can't even remember the other 4 ingredients, and I'm sorry, I'm a bad business owner, but it's just the way it goes. And yeah, so 5 of them, and you're pretty much soaring for about 4 to 6 hours. I like to take about 10 a day. It sounds like a lot, but bear in mind, it's just ground up plants, so it's not like it's something that's going to kill you. And all of my supplements are only available on thirdeyeroots.com.
Roots, bloody roots.
I should have brought the bottle in here. I have it in the other room. Should I get it?
Yeah, you can. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll promote the product, let you guys check it out. Nick says, thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, check out his work, man. He's got a lot of cool stuff, and he's got a pretty huge following. Like I said, hats off to Quayle, especially with everything that I've built over the years with my music and podcasting. It's all been through networking and the power of networking, man. Two things: consistency in networking. And if you can do both of those, I think you'll be successful. I think if you can master those, whatever you're going to bring to the table, keep it coming. Don't switch it up. I've tried to switch it up. I've experimented with this stuff. I tried to start gaming on my channel. I love to game. Most of my stuff is this stuff in this room is filled with video game memorabilia, and me and my wife love to game, and my daughter. So I tried to game on my channel, and people wasn't having it. So whatever you bring to the table, keep it consistent. Be consistent with what you're bringing, and you will succeed. Everybody who's listening to this, like the dreams and aspirations that you have, make it manifest, man. And some of the things we're telling you, man, all of this, you know what I'm saying, the rape, him smoking bud, like all of these are just different tools that help us to kind of stay connected, stay in a now moment, and bring this stuff that's within us into fruition. So talk a little bit more about the product you got, man, before we go ahead and wrap the show up.
Yo, I was on 29 antipsychotics, psychiatric meds, serotonin reuptake inhibitors, methamphetamine like Adderall and Ritalin. I was on all of these meds. I went to the doctor one day, and the doctor did a lab test and said your liver's failing, and gave me a pill for my liver. Gave me a pill while my liver's failing. Gave me a pill. So anyway, actually, yeah, I got in trouble. I hit this doctor, and I think I got locked up for it. But I fucking pill, you ass clown. Anyway, so this long story was that was when I decided to get off meds, and that was about 4 years ago. And I quit cold turkey. I just stopped taking them. And I had some slight withdrawals in the beginning, but then I started to realize that nature. I was in Maui at that time, and I was, nature was kind of like the answer for me. And I realized that a cure for every dis-ease in existence. It's just the law of polarity. It has to be existing.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is the on switch. And the two ingredients that I was forgetting are Bacopa monieri and Gotu Cola, for those of you that were wondering. And L-theanine is the other one. But lion's mane mushroom and the Gotu Cola combined with the Bacopa monieri are incredibly powerful as like an alertness tool. If you drove trucks, a lot of those guys take some sort of stay-up pills, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, yeah, this is probably good for that, too. I actually give this to one of my family members who's a truck driver in the States.
One thing that I want to touch on too about fasting that I want to make, that fasting, staying up, being sleep deprived makes you more susceptible to the spirit realm, and you could do that for good causes and to tap in and things like that. But when you look at some of the synthetic stuff like meth, that's exactly what they're doing. They're not eating for 3 days. They're fasting on meth. They're staying up for 6 days, and they're paranoid, and they're seeing stuff that's not there. They're hearing voices. They have police officers hiding under their bed or hiding in trees. All that kind of stuff, right? So for everything that exists that is good with these tools in the intention, there's always the polar opposite. So what Corey was saying, being in a safe setting, being in a place that feels secure to you, is kind of like the 101 when it comes to doing any of this stuff, right?
Yeah, that's a fact. And fuck meth.
Totally, man.
Dude, meth turns light portals in your body into black holes that suck your light out of your body. There's like a meth demon somewhere in the world that's getting increasingly powerful, because where that energy goes is somewhere else. It's so dangerous having all these people in meth.
It sucks their emotions out of their body. Like, they don't know how to be happy anymore. I had a buddy of mine. He was what you call burnt out. He just did all the drugs coming up as a teenager, and he just pops up like once a year. He'll pop up at my house now. And we were friends as teenagers, and I wanted to take a selfie with him. I was like, "Hey, bro, let's take a selfie, man. Smile." And in his mind, okay, smile. What does that look like? So he put the biggest smile. I was like, and we took a selfie. I was like, "Oh, this is awkward, bro. Maybe a little less smile, bro." "Oh, okay, man." And so he had to, try to process what a little less smile was. You know what I'm saying? The way, it kind of burnt out, man. The way your brain works, it messes you up, man. That kind of stuff.
Surprised you, dude. I did meth for 5 years. It's no wonder, too, because I was on Ritalin and Adderall since I was like 9. So if you predispose a kid to being on speed, obviously it's going to become a meth habit.
It comes natural.
When the doctors say, "Oh, you're not in school, you can't have it anymore."
Yeah.
Bro, it's like employed to get us on meth. I'm telling you, the meth thing is literally an agenda because there's a demon somewhere feasting on that and being robbed from people. So it's like promoted in the system. It's fucking insane.
Yep.
To produce on crystal meth. And that's what Adderall is. Bananas, dude.
Thor in the chat room says he just wants the herb. Where is the bud? Where is the bud?
Where is the bud? Where is the...
For those on the podcast, Coy is he's got a big bud. He's just shaking it in a bottle in front of the camera for those who can't see.
Where is the bud?
Drug heads.
Chanting, bro? You've done chanting before,
heck
right?
Yeah, heck yeah.
I love chanting. What a great way to heal.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite things is feeling those vibrations inside of you.
Man, it's powerful, bro. Just chanting itself and getting into that state of meditation with the chanting.
Yes.
Anybody who's curious about that, a chant that I would tell you to look up is it's called Ramadasa. Ramadasa Sase Sohung. And you just chant that. There's many ways you can chant it, but just get by yourself and
This
say it again.
Rama Dama Sase for young.
Ramadasa. Ramadasa Sase Sohung. And it's basically connecting with all of creation, singing praises to the Most High. So it's like the light energy, the sun energy, the moon, all offering praises back to the Creator. And you're joining with that when you sing that, because all creation is vibrating and making sound, making a noise. They're essentially singing their worship song back to the Creator. And
Love
so
it.
when we connect with that, so yeah, just look that up. Mantra Rama Dasa. It should come up. So if you type in mantra and then you can look up the words, and it's basically the sun energy, moon energy, earth energy, singing praises back to the Creator. But there's some places that you can go to in trance where you start chanting, and then you let the spirit come through, and you start singing other syllables and other words, and melodies start coming through, and it's powerful experiences that we've done with playing the djembe and just chanting Om and other songs and other syllables and stuff start coming out, and then you write them down and you go back and see what they mean, whether they're in Sanskrit or Hebrew or something like that. It's usually an ancient language and they mean stuff. It's really powerful. That's what speaking in tongues is. Speaking in tongues is done in every religion, every culture on the face of the earth. And most of the times you're speaking an actual language, which is deep.
Some of them are super possessed. Some of that tongue shit, that's not languages. Like I've heard people screaming in Sumerian. It's not good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Sometimes, yeah. So with everything, there's the positive and negative, right? There's always the good and the bad. So that's why we wanted to talk about that, kind of straighten up a little bit about the synthetic drugs and some of the natural things that are put here by the Creator for us to connect with. And I had a request for us to talk about that. So thanks for coming on, hanging out with me again, bro. We're going to do some more work here in the near future, and we got some stuff planned for you guys.
Absolutely.
So with that, I'm going to say, go ahead. You got one more thing?
Oh, I said it's been a pleasure. Thanks a lot for having me on again.
All right, go ahead and stay on the air, and we'll connect off air. Just give us 1 second. So with that, I'm going to say peace and shalom, everyone. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I thoroughly enjoy this, and thank you for allowing me to do this. Everybody who's supporting over at Patreon, and if you want to sign up at any level of giving, anywhere from $1, $5, $10, $25, whatever you want to do, we got a lot of people over there, a community that we're building, and you get access to all of my music. You get access to all of the music that I'm working on. I got a bunch of new music that I'm working on, and you guys get access to that. So there's some really cool stuff coming through, and I'm about to get ready to work on some more stuff to put up too. So with that, peace and shalom. Facebook.com/TruthSeeker, Patreon.com/TruthSeeker, all that good stuff. Peace out, Christy. And I'm trying to moderate the chats. I usually have moderators here. I'm trying to see if these people are trolling or being silly or what. Nietzsche, Caroline Pie. I don't know if you're being silly or you're a supporter. I really don't know. So let me know something. Are you cool or what? Because we like to block some of you silly people out there. With that, I'm going to say peace and shalom. Peace.
Peace.
Your way so much higher than mine.
Oh, look at
so much higher than mine. So much
download, folks. To hear more episodes of the Truth Seeker podcast, head over to truthseeker.com. And if you're wanting to support the show and get rewards, go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/truthseeker.